Question 1. A child development associate is observing a toddler who frequently throws toys when frustrated. What is the most appropriate first step for the CDA to take? A. Immediately remove the child from the activity and place them in timeout. B. Ignore the behavior and hope the child stops on their own. C. Observe the child to understand the triggers and patterns of the behavior. D. Tell the child's parents to handle the discipline at home. Answer: C. Observe the child to understand the triggers and patterns of the behavior. This question tests understanding of positive guidance and observation skills. The keyword most appropriate first step guides you to consider a thoughtful, proactive approach rather than immediate punishment. Observing the child carefully helps the CDA gather information about why the child is throwing toys, such as if it's due to overstimulation, a lack of communication skills, or a desire for attention, which is crucial for developing an effective guidance strategy. For example, if you notice the child throws toys specifically when another child takes their toy, you've identified a trigger that can be addressed by teaching sharing or asking for turns. Always remember that understanding the why behind behavior is the foundation for effective support. Question 2. When planning a daily schedule for a group of preschoolers, which factor is most important to consider for healthy child development? A. Providing long, uninterrupted periods for free play. B. Ensuring all activities are teacher-led to maximize learning. C. Including a balance of active and quiet activities. D. Minimizing transitions between activities to save time. Answer: C. Including a balance of active and quiet activities. This question addresses the planning of a developmentally appropriate daily schedule. The keyword most important highlights the need for a comprehensive approach that supports all aspects of a child's well-being. A balanced schedule that incorporates both active play, which promotes physical development and energy release, and quiet activities, which encourage focus, rest, and cognitive engagement, is essential for children's overall health and learning. For example, after an energetic outdoor play session, transitioning to a story time or a puzzle activity helps children regulate their energy and attention. A well-rounded schedule prevents overstimulation and boredom, supporting children's natural rhythms. Question 3. What is the primary reason for a CDA to establish strong partnerships with families? A. To get families to volunteer more in the classroom. B. To ensure families follow the program's rules at home. C. To support the child's development consistently between home and program. D. To inform families about all the daily activities their child participates in. Answer: C. To support the child's development consistently between home and program. This question focuses on the importance of family partnerships in early childhood education. The phrase primary reason emphasizes the core benefit of these relationships. Establishing strong partnerships with families allows for consistent support of a child's development, as both educators and parents share information, goals, and strategies, creating a unified and reinforcing environment. For example, if a family is working on potty training at home, knowing this allows the CDA to continue that support in the program, making the process smoother for the child. Collaborating ensures that the child's needs and experiences are understood and addressed holistically across all settings. Question 4. Which of the following is an example of an open-ended material in an early childhood classroom? A set of identical plastic blocks. B. A puzzle with a single correct solution. C. A box of diverse art supplies like paper, crayons, and fabric scraps. D. A toy car that only moves when a specific button is pressed. Answer: C. A box of diverse art supplies like paper, crayons, and fabric scraps. This question tests understanding of developmentally appropriate materials, specifically open-ended items. Open-ended materials are those that can be used in multiple ways, encourage creativity, problem-solving, and imaginative play, and do not have a single predetermined purpose. Diverse art supplies, unlike a fixed puzzle or a single-function toy, allow children to explore, create, and express themselves in countless ways, fostering imagination and critical thinking. For instance, children can use fabric scraps to make costumes, build a fort, or create a collage, depending on their interests. Offering open-ended materials empowers children to be the architects of their own play and learning. Question 5. A CDA notices that a child consistently struggles with fine motor tasks, such as holding a crayon or cutting with scissors. What would be the most appropriate action for the CDA to take first? A. Tell the child they need to try harder to improve. B. Suggest the child only do activities that don't require fine motor skills. C. Provide opportunities for fine motor practice and observe their progress. D. Immediately recommend the child be evaluated by a specialist. Answer: C. Provide opportunities for fine motor practice and observe their progress. This question assesses the CDA's role in supporting development and appropriate intervention. The phrase, most appropriate action first, indicates a need for a supportive and gradual approach. Before considering outside interventions, a CDA should first provide ample opportunities within the program for the child to practice fine motor skills, such as using Play-Doh, stringing beads, or drawing, and then carefully observe their progress over time. This allows the CDA to gather more information and see if the child simply needs more practice and encouragement in a supportive environment. For example, offering different types of writing tools, like chunky crayons or paintbrushes, might help improve their grip. Question 6. What is the primary purpose of daily health checks in an early childhood program? A. To ensure children are dressed appropriately for the weather. B. To identify any signs of illness or injury that could affect the child or others. C. To track children's growth and development over time. D. To confirm that children have eaten breakfast before arriving. Answer: B. To identify any signs of illness or injury that could affect the child or others. This question focuses on health and safety practices in an early childhood setting. The primary purpose of daily health checks is to quickly assess each child for visible signs of illness, such as a rash or fever, or injury, like a new cut, upon arrival. This immediate check helps protect the health and safety of the individual child and prevents the spread of contagious illnesses to other children and staff within the program. For instance, noticing a child is unusually lethargic or has a visible cough allows the CDA to take appropriate steps, such as contacting the family or isolating the child if necessary. Regular health checks are a vital part of maintaining a healthy environment for everyone. Question 7. When preparing a snack for children with known allergies, what is the most important step a CDA must take? A. Ask the child if they have any allergies before serving. B. Serve the allergic child a smaller portion than other children. C. Carefully read ingredient labels and avoid cross-contamination. D. Have the child's parent bring all their snacks from home. Answer: C. Carefully read ingredient labels and avoid cross-contamination. This question highlights critical safety protocols regarding food allergies. The most important step when dealing with children's allergies is paramount for their well-being. A CDA must diligently read all ingredient labels to ensure no allergens are present and take extreme care to prevent cross-contamination by using separate utensils, cutting boards, and preparation surfaces. For example, if a child has a peanut allergy, it's not enough to just avoid serving peanuts. You must also ensure that the knife used to spread jam on their bread hasn't touched peanut butter previously. This meticulous attention prevents potentially life-threatening allergic reactions, ensuring a safe eating environment for all children. Question 8. A CDA is leading a small group of children in a discussion. What is the best way to encourage active participation from all children? A. Ask questions that only have one correct answer. B. Call on children randomly to answer questions. C. Ask open-ended questions that invite diverse responses. D. Only allow children who raise their hands to speak. Answer: C. Ask open-ended questions that invite diverse responses. This question explores effective communication and group facilitation skills. The best way to encourage active participation involves creating an environment where all children feel comfortable sharing their thoughts. Asking open-ended questions, which cannot be answered with a simple yes or no and invite multiple correct responses, encourages children to think critically, express their unique ideas, and engage more deeply in the discussion. For instance, instead of asking, "Is the sky blue?" ask, "What do you notice about the sky today, and how does it make you feel?" This approach fosters richer conversations and builds confidence in young learners. Question 9. What is a key characteristic of a developmentally appropriate practice, DAP, curriculum? A. It focuses solely on academic subjects to prepare children for kindergarten. B. It is designed to meet children where they are, considering individual needs and age. C. It emphasizes strict adherence to a predetermined lesson plan for all children. D. It prioritizes teacher-directed activities over child-initiated learning. Answer: B. It is designed to meet children where they are, considering individual needs and age. This question directly tests understanding of developmentally appropriate practice, DAP, a core concept in early childhood education. A key characteristic of a DAP curriculum is that it tailors experiences to each child's individual needs, abilities, interests, and their age group's typical development, rather than expecting all children to fit into a rigid mold. This means recognizing that children develop at different rates and have diverse backgrounds, and creating activities that are challenging yet achievable for each one. For example, a CDA offering different levels of block-building challenges or providing both quiet and active options during free play demonstrates DAP. It's all about creating learning experiences that are just right for every child. Question 10. A child bites another child during playtime. After ensuring the bitten child is safe, what is the most appropriate next step for the CDA to take with the child who bit? A. Punish the child immediately with a stern lecture or time out. B. Ignore the biting incident to avoid giving attention to negative behavior. C. Comfort the child who bit and reassure them everything is okay. D. Help the child identify their feelings and teach an alternative way to express them. Answer: D. Help the child identify their feelings and teach an alternative way to express them. This question addresses guidance strategies for challenging behaviors. After ensuring safety, the most appropriate next step with the child who bit is to help them understand and label their strong feelings, like frustration or anger, and then teach them a more acceptable way to express those feelings, such as using words or asking for help. This positive guidance approach focuses on teaching rather than just punishing, helping the child develop crucial social-emotional skills. For example, you might say, "You seemed very angry when Mateo took your toy. Biting hurts. Next time, you can say, 'My turn, please.'" This helps the child learn valuable coping mechanisms for future situations. Question 11. What is the primary purpose of an Individualized Family Service Plan, IFSP, for infants and toddlers with special needs? A. To outline academic goals for the child to achieve by school age. B. To document the family's financial resources for support services. C. To provide a written plan of early intervention services for the child and family. D. To determine if a child qualifies for special education in public school. Answer: C. To provide a written plan of early intervention services for the child and family. This question tests knowledge of support services for children with special needs, specifically the IFSP. The primary purpose of an Individualized Family Service Plan, IFSP, is to serve as a written action plan for infants and toddlers, birth to age 3, who have developmental delays or disabilities. It outlines specific early intervention services, goals, and supports designed to meet the unique needs of the child and their family, recognizing that the family is central to the child's development. For example, an IFSP might include speech therapy for the child and training for parents on how to incorporate language-rich activities at home. This plan ensures coordinated and holistic support. Question 12. A CDA notices a child is consistently isolated during free play and struggles to join groups. What is a supportive strategy the CDA could use? A. Force the child to join a group, even if they resist. B. Tell the other children they must play with this child. C. Model initiating play, suggest ways to join, or facilitate a small group. D. Ignore the behavior, assuming the child prefers playing alone. Answer: C. Model initiating play, suggest ways to join, or facilitate a small group. This question focuses on strategies to support social-emotional development. When a child struggles with social interactions, a supportive CDA doesn't force or ignore, but actively helps the child learn social skills. Modeling how to approach a group, offering specific phrases like, "Can I play too?" or gently facilitating a small group activity where the isolated child can join are effective ways to teach and practice social skills. For example, the CDA could sit down with a small group of children and invite the isolated child to join a puzzle activity, guiding their interaction. This provides gentle scaffolding, helping the child build confidence and skills to engage with peers. Question 13. Which of the following best describes the role of a CDA in observing children? A. To judge children's behaviors as good or bad. B. To document only negative behaviors for parent conferences. C. To gather objective information to understand children's development and needs. D. To ensure children are always following instructions perfectly. Answer: C. To gather objective information to understand children's development and needs. This question clarifies the professional role of observation. The best describes indicates the most accurate and comprehensive purpose of this fundamental skill. A CDA observes children to gather objective, factual information about their strengths, interests, and developmental progress across all domains, not to judge or solely focus on negative aspects. This information then informs curriculum planning, individualized support, and communication with families. For example, observing a child consistently choosing building blocks helps a CDA understand their interests and plan more block-related activities. Observation is a tool for understanding and supporting each child's unique learning journey. Question 14. What is the most effective way for a CDA to promote language development in toddlers? A. Limiting conversations to focus on academic vocabulary. B. Consistently talking, singing, and reading to children, responding to their vocalizations. C. Using only complex sentences to challenge their understanding. D. Encouraging children to communicate only through gestures, not words. Answer: B. Consistently talking, singing, and reading to children, responding to their vocalizations. This question addresses strategies for fostering language development in young children. The most effective way emphasizes consistent, rich interactions. Engaging toddlers in ongoing conversations, singing songs, and reading books, while also actively responding to their babbles, gestures, and early words, provides a rich linguistic environment that is crucial for building vocabulary and comprehension. For example, if a toddler points to a ball and babbles, a CDA might respond, "Yes, that's a red ball. Do you want to roll the red ball?" This interaction validates their communication and expands their understanding. Such consistent, responsive communication builds a strong foundation for future language skills. Question 15. What is the primary purpose of positive guidance techniques in early childhood settings? A. To ensure children always obey adults without question. B. To punish children for misbehavior so they learn consequences. C. To teach children self-control, problem-solving, and pro-social behaviors. D. To prevent children from ever making mistakes or acting out. Answer: C. To teach children self-control, problem-solving, and pro-social behaviors. This question defines the core goal of positive guidance. The primary purpose of positive guidance is not about strict obedience or punishment, but about teaching and nurturing. It aims to help children develop essential life skills like managing their emotions, self-control, finding solutions to conflicts, problem-solving, and interacting positively with others, pro-social behaviors. For example, instead of just saying "don't run," a CDA might say, "Please use your walking feet indoors so you stay safe and don't bump into anyone." This approach empowers children to understand expectations and make good choices, fostering their development into responsible individuals. Question 16. A family informs the CDA that their child will be picked up by a different authorized adult today. What should the CDA do before releasing the child? A. Assume the parent has informed the new adult of the pickup time. B. Ask the child if they know the person coming to pick them up. C. Verify the adult's identity and confirm they are listed on the child's authorized pickup form. D. Release the child to anyone who states they are there to pick them up. Answer: C. Verify the adult's identity and confirm they are listed on the child's authorized pickup form. This question is critical for ensuring child safety protocols. When a different adult is picking up a child, the CDA must prioritize safety by verifying the adult's identity, often by checking a photo ID, and confirming that their name is explicitly listed on the child's emergency contact or authorized pickup form. This procedure prevents unauthorized individuals from taking a child, safeguarding their well-being. For example, if a grandparent is picking up for the first time, the CDA would check their ID against the list the parents provided. Always remember that strict adherence to pickup policies is non-negotiable for child protection. Question 17. Which strategy best promotes a child's positive self-esteem? A. Constantly praising a child for everything they do, regardless of effort. B. Comparing a child's achievements to those of their peers. C. Recognizing and acknowledging a child's effort and specific accomplishments. D. Focusing on correcting mistakes to ensure perfect performance. Answer: C. Recognizing and acknowledging a child's effort and specific accomplishments. This question focuses on building positive self-esteem in children. The best strategy involves providing genuine and specific feedback, which helps children understand what they did well and feel a sense of accomplishment. Acknowledging their effort, like saying "you worked so hard to put all those blocks away," or praising a specific achievement, such as "I noticed how carefully you painted that picture, and those colors are beautiful," validates their actions and fosters a sense of competence. This approach helps children develop an internal sense of worth and encourages persistence, rather than relying on constant, unearned praise or comparisons. Question 18. What is the main purpose of sensory play for young children? A. To keep children quiet and still for extended periods. B. To exclusively teach academic concepts like counting and letters. C. To explore and learn about the world through their senses. D. To prepare children for formal scientific experiments. Answer: C. To explore and learn about the world through their senses. This question addresses the value of sensory play in early childhood. The main purpose of sensory play is to provide children with opportunities to engage their five senses: touch, sight, smell, sound, and taste, where appropriate, as they explore materials and learn about their environment. This type of play supports cognitive development, fine motor skills, language, and problem-solving through hands-on exploration. For example, playing with water, sand, or Play-Doh allows children to experience different textures, temperatures, and properties, fostering creativity and curiosity. Sensory play helps children make sense of their world in a joyful and engaging way. Question 19. If a CDA suspects child abuse or neglect, what is their primary ethical and legal responsibility? A. To directly confront the parents about their suspicions. B. To conduct their own investigation to confirm the abuse. C. To report their suspicions to the appropriate Child Protective Services agency. D. To keep the information confidential to avoid upsetting the family. Answer: C. To report their suspicions to the appropriate Child Protective Services agency. This question addresses a critical legal and ethical responsibility of all child care professionals. If a CDA suspects child abuse or neglect, their primary ethical and legal responsibility as a mandated reporter is to immediately report these suspicions to the designated Child Protective Services agency, not to investigate or confront. This action ensures the safety and well-being of the child and is a legal requirement designed to protect vulnerable children. For example, if a child frequently comes to the program with unexplained bruises or describes concerning home situations, the CDA must follow reporting protocols without delay. Protecting children is the absolute priority, and reporting is a mandatory step. Question 20. When interacting with a child who uses a wheelchair, what is the most respectful approach for a CDA? A. Always speak loudly to ensure the child can hear you. B. Kneel or sit down to be at eye level with the child. C. Push the child's wheelchair without asking permission. D. Talk only to the child's parent or caregiver, not the child directly. Answer: B. Kneel or sit down to be at eye level with the child. This question emphasizes respectful and inclusive practices for children with disabilities. The most respectful approach when interacting with a child who uses a wheelchair, or any child in a seated position, is to get down to their eye level. This simple action shows respect, facilitates direct eye contact, and makes communication more natural and comfortable for the child. For example, if you want to ask a child in a wheelchair about their drawing, crouching down allows you to have a warm, direct conversation. Being at eye level fosters a sense of equality and connection, helping the child feel seen and valued. Question 21. What is the main benefit of incorporating diverse books and materials into an early childhood program? A. To ensure children learn only about their own cultural background. B. To help children develop a sense of identity and appreciation for diversity. C. To fulfill a program requirement for specific types of literature. D. To make the classroom look more colorful and interesting. Answer: B. To help children develop a sense of identity and appreciation for diversity. This question addresses the importance of cultural responsiveness and diversity in early childhood education. The main benefit of including diverse books and materials is that it allows children to see themselves and their families reflected positively, fostering a strong sense of identity and belonging. Simultaneously, it exposes children to different cultures, perspectives, and experiences, cultivating empathy, understanding, and an appreciation for the rich diversity of the world around them. For instance, having books that feature children from various ethnic backgrounds or families with different structures helps all children feel included and broadens their worldview. Diverse materials build a foundation for respectful and inclusive communities. Question 22. Which activity would best support the development of gross motor skills in toddlers? A. Solving a complex jigsaw puzzle. B. Building a tower with small blocks. C. Running, jumping, and climbing on safe playground equipment. D. Practicing writing letters with a pencil. Answer: C. Running, jumping, and climbing on safe playground equipment. This question tests understanding of different developmental domains, specifically gross motor skills. Gross motor skills involve the movement of large muscles in the arms, legs, and torso, and are essential for activities like walking, running, and balancing. Activities such as running, jumping, and climbing on age-appropriate and safe playground equipment directly promote the development of these large muscle groups, coordination, and balance. For example, a toddler navigating a small slide or pushing a wagon across the yard engages their gross motor skills. Providing ample opportunities for active outdoor play is key to strengthening these foundational physical abilities. Question 23. A child repeatedly says no and refuses to participate in an activity. What is the most respectful and effective response from a CDA? A. Force the child to participate, stating they have no choice. B. Ignore the child's refusal and move on with the activity. C. Acknowledge the child's feelings, offer a choice if possible, or give them space. D. Punish the child for being uncooperative. Answer: C. Acknowledge the child's feelings, offer a choice if possible, or give them space. This question addresses positive guidance strategies for handling resistance. When a child says no and refuses an activity, the most respectful and effective response is to first acknowledge their feelings, such as "it looks like you don't want to join us right now." Then, if appropriate, offer a limited choice, e.g., would you like to try drawing or reading a book instead, or provide a quiet space for them to observe before rejoining. This approach respects the child's autonomy, helps them feel heard, and offers alternatives, fostering cooperation rather than escalating a power struggle. For example, you might say, "It's okay if you don't feel like playing with blocks right now, you can sit here with me until you're ready." Question 24. What is the main benefit of implementing consistent routines and schedules in an early childhood program? A. To make it easier for adults to manage the classroom. B. To provide a predictable and secure environment for children. C. To ensure all children always follow instructions without question. D. To limit creativity and spontaneous play opportunities. Answer: B. To provide a predictable and secure environment for children. This question highlights the importance of structure in early childhood settings. The main benefit of consistent routines and schedules is that they create a predictable and secure environment for young children. When children know what to expect next, it reduces anxiety, helps them feel safe, and empowers them to anticipate and participate in activities with confidence, leading to fewer behavioral challenges. For example, knowing that circle time always follows outdoor play helps children transition more smoothly and feel more in control of their day. Predictability fosters a sense of security and promotes independence. Question 25. What is the primary role of play in early childhood development? A. To keep children occupied while adults complete tasks. B. To allow children to explore, learn, and develop across all domains. C. To provide a break from structured academic learning. D. To encourage competition and winning among peers. Answer: B. To allow children to explore, learn, and develop across all domains. This question emphasizes the fundamental importance of play. The primary role of play in early childhood development is far beyond simple entertainment. It is how children naturally explore their world, develop essential cognitive, social, emotional, language, and physical skills. Through play, children practice problem-solving, develop creativity, learn to cooperate, and process their experiences. For example, building a block tower involves problem-solving and fine motor skills, while dramatic play helps children understand social roles and emotions. Play is truly children's work, providing the most effective context for holistic development. Question 26. When a child exhibits challenging behavior, What is the best approach for a CDA to take after addressing the immediate situation? A. Create a punitive behavior chart for the child. B. Reflect on the context and possible triggers of the behavior. C. Immediately inform the parents to handle the discipline at home. D. Isolate the child from the group for the rest of the day. Answer: B. Reflect on the context and possible triggers of the behavior. This question focuses on reflective practice in behavior guidance. After ensuring safety and addressing the immediate challenging behavior, the best approach for a CDA is to reflect on the situation to understand the underlying causes or triggers of the behavior. This involves considering the environment, the child's needs, recent events, and what might have led to the outburst, rather than simply reacting with punishment. For example, noticing a child often becomes agitated during loud group activities might suggest overstimulation is a trigger. Understanding the why is crucial for implementing effective, proactive, and individualized support strategies. Question 27. What is the main reason for a CDA to document observations of children's learning and development? A. To compare children's progress against each other. B. To provide evidence for disciplinary actions. C. To inform curriculum planning and communicate with families. D. To meet a quota for the number of observations completed. Answer: C. To inform curriculum planning and communicate with families. This question addresses the practical application of observation and assessment. The main reason for documenting observations of children's learning and development is to gather objective data that informs decisions about curriculum, individualize learning experiences, and facilitate meaningful communication with families. These documented observations help a CDA understand each child's strengths, interests, and areas for growth, allowing them to plan activities that truly meet the children's needs. For example, noticing a child's fascination with insects through documented observations might lead the CDA to introduce books about insects and provide magnifying glasses, further engaging their interest. Question 28. Which of the following is an example of providing an emotionally supportive environment? A. Consistently telling children they must be happy all the time. B. Ignoring children's expressions of sadness or anger. C. Acknowledging and validating children's feelings, while teaching coping skills. D. Shielding children from all challenges and disappointments. Answer: C. Acknowledging and validating children's feelings, while teaching coping skills. This question focuses on fostering social-emotional development. Providing an emotionally supportive environment means creating a safe space where children feel comfortable expressing a full range of emotions, and where adults acknowledge and validate those feelings. It also involves guiding children to develop healthy coping mechanisms and problem-solving skills for managing big emotions. For example, if a child is sad because a friend left, a CDA might say, "It's okay to feel sad when your friend goes home. Maybe we can draw a picture for them to give them tomorrow." This approach helps children understand their feelings are normal and teaches them constructive ways to deal with them. Question 29. What is the recommended hand-washing procedure for children in an early childhood program? A. Rinse hands quickly with water only. B. Wash hands with soap and water for at least 20 seconds. C. Use hand sanitizer as a replacement for soap and water. D. Wipe hands on a towel without using soap. Answer: B. Wash hands with soap and water for at least 20 seconds. This question addresses essential health and hygiene practices. The recommended hand-washing procedure for children and adults in an early childhood program is to wash hands thoroughly with soap and warm running water for at least 20 seconds, which is about the time it takes to sing "Happy Birthday" twice. This thorough scrubbing helps remove germs and prevents the spread of illness, crucial for maintaining a healthy environment. For instance, children should wash their hands before meals, after using the restroom, and after playing outdoors. Proper hand washing is one of the most effective ways to keep everyone healthy. Question 30. A CDA is planning a creative art activity. To best promote creativity and individual expression, what type of materials should be prioritized? A. Pre-cut shapes and templates for children to assemble. B. A limited selection of materials with step-by-step instructions. C. Open-ended materials like paint, clay, and various collage items. D. Art projects that result in identical finished products. Answer: C. Open-ended materials like paint, clay, and various collage items. This question focuses on fostering creativity through art. To best promote creativity and individual expression, a CDA should prioritize providing open-ended materials such as paint, clay, and a variety of collage items, rather than pre-packaged kits or restrictive instructions. These materials allow children to explore, experiment, and create according to their own ideas and imagination, without pressure to produce a specific outcome. For example, offering different colors of paint and various sizes of paper allows children to decide what they want to create. This approach celebrates the process of art making and values each child's unique artistic vision. Question 31. What is the primary purpose of a child-initiated activity in an early childhood classroom? A. To give the teacher a break from leading instruction. B. To allow children to choose and direct their own learning based on interests. C. To assess which children are capable of following directions independently. D. To ensure children complete all required academic tasks. Answer: B. To allow children to choose and direct their own learning based on interests. This question addresses a core principle of child-centered learning. The primary purpose of a child-initiated activity is to empower children to select and direct their own play and learning experiences based on their current interests and developmental stage. This fosters intrinsic motivation, deep engagement, problem-solving skills, and a sense of agency. For example, during free play, a child might choose to build an elaborate fort, exploring engineering and dramatic play, rather than being told exactly what to do. Child-initiated activities are fundamental to a developmentally appropriate program, recognizing that children are active learners. Question 32. Which of the following best describes active listening when communicating with a child? A. Nodding along while thinking about what to say next. B. Repeating exactly what the child says back to them. C. Paying full attention, making eye contact, and reflecting on their feelings and words. D. Interrogating the child to get all the facts of a situation. Answer: C. Paying full attention, making eye contact, and reflecting on their feelings and words. This question tests understanding of effective communication skills. Active listening involves more than just hearing words. It means giving the child your full, undivided attention, often by getting down to their level and making eye contact, and then reflecting back not just their words but also the feelings you perceive. This helps the child feel understood and encourages them to share more. For example, if a child says, "My tower fell down," an active listener might respond, "Oh, your tower fell, and it sounds like you're feeling frustrated." This validates their experience and builds trust. Question 33. What is an essential component of creating a safe indoor environment for infants and toddlers? A. Keeping all furniture pushed against the walls. B. Ensuring all electrical outlets are covered and cords are out of reach. C. Allowing older children to supervise younger children during play. D. Storing all toys in high, inaccessible shelves. Answer: B. Ensuring all electrical outlets are covered and cords are out of reach. This question focuses on critical safety practices in an early childhood environment. An essential component of creating a safe indoor space for infants and toddlers is meticulous attention to potential hazards. Covering all electrical outlets with childproof covers and ensuring all cords are out of reach prevents accidental electrocution or strangulation, which are significant risks for young, curious children. For example, checking for loose electrical wires or unplugged appliances and securing them are vital daily tasks. Prioritizing these safety measures protects children from preventable accidents. Question 34. How can a CDA best support a child's transition from home to the early childhood program? A. Encourage the child to quickly separate from their parent. B. Provide a consistent goodbye ritual and comfort the child if they are upset. C. Immediately engross the child in a complex group activity. D. Tell the parent to leave quickly without saying goodbye. Answer: B. Provide a consistent goodbye ritual and comfort the child if they are upset. This question addresses strategies for supporting children through transitions. The best way to support a child's transition from home to the program is to establish a consistent, predictable goodbye ritual, such as a special hug or wave, and then offer comfort and reassurance if the child shows signs of distress. This routine helps children feel secure and understand what to expect, making separation easier over time. For example, a CDA might offer a warm hug and say, "Mommy will be back after nap time, and we can play with blocks until then." This consistent, nurturing approach builds trust and helps children adapt to the new environment. Question 35. What is the primary reason for a CDA to maintain confidentiality regarding children and families? A. To avoid personal involvement in family matters. B. To protect the privacy and trust of children and their families. C. To prevent other staff members from knowing sensitive information. D. To comply with a program rule without understanding its purpose. Answer: B. To protect the privacy and trust of children and their families. This question addresses a fundamental ethical principle in early childhood education. The primary reason for maintaining confidentiality is to protect the privacy, dignity, and trust of children and their families. Sharing sensitive information without permission undermines trust and can harm the family's relationship with the program. For example, discussing a child's developmental delay or a family's personal situation with unauthorized individuals is a breach of confidentiality. Upholding confidentiality is crucial for building respectful partnerships and ensuring families feel safe sharing information with the program. Question 36. When setting up a learning environment, what is the most important consideration for promoting independence in young children? A. Arranging materials so only adults can reach them. B. Labeling shelves and organizing materials at children's eye level. C. Using only brand new, expensive educational toys. D. Creating a very cluttered space to encourage exploration. Answer: B. Labeling shelves and organizing materials at children's eye level. This question focuses on environmental design to support child development. The most important consideration for promoting independence in a learning environment is to organize and label materials clearly, placing them at children's eye level. This accessible setup allows children to choose, retrieve, and put away materials independently, fostering self-reliance and responsibility. For example, having toy bins with picture labels on a low shelf means a child can easily find the blocks they want and then put them back after play. An organized and accessible environment empowers children to take charge of their own learning. Question 37. What is an example of a teachable moment for social-emotional learning? A. During a planned lesson on sharing. B. When two children are having a conflict over a toy. C. When a child is playing peacefully alone. D. Only when a child asks an adult for advice. Answer: B. When two children are having a conflict over a toy. This question tests understanding of practical guidance opportunities. A A teachable moment is an unplanned, spontaneous opportunity to guide children's learning, often arising from everyday situations or conflicts. When two children are having a conflict over a toy, it's an ideal moment for a CDA to step in, help them express their feelings, and guide them through problem-solving and sharing, thereby teaching valuable social-emotional skills in a real-world context. For example, a CDA might say, "I see you both want the truck. How can we take turns so you both get to play?" These moments are powerful because the learning is directly relevant to the child's immediate experience. Question 38. What is the primary reason for regular parent-teacher conferences? A. To discuss only problematic behaviors of the child. B. To provide a formal opportunity for two-way communication about the child's progress. C. To inform parents about upcoming program events. D. To request more supplies or donations from families. Answer: B. To provide a formal opportunity for two-way communication about the child's progress. This question addresses effective communication with families. The primary reason for regular parent-teacher conferences is to create a dedicated, formal opportunity for reciprocal communication, where both the CDA and parents can share insights, observations, and concerns about the child's development, strengths, and progress. It allows for a holistic view of the child and collaborative goal setting. For example, parents might share insights about their child's interests at home, which the CDA can then incorporate into classroom activities. This two-way dialogue strengthens the partnership and ensures consistent support for the child. Question 39. A child has a runny nose and a mild cough but no fever. What should the CDA typically do according to health guidelines? A. Immediately send the child home to prevent illness spread. B. Monitor the child closely for any worsening symptoms. C. Give the child over-the-counter medication. D. Isolate the child from all other children until symptoms disappear. Answer: B. Monitor the child closely for any worsening symptoms. This question tests knowledge of common illness policies in childcare. For a child with minor symptoms like a runny nose and mild cough, but no fever, the typical procedure is to closely monitor the child for any worsening of symptoms or the development of new, more concerning signs. Many programs allow children with mild cold symptoms to remain if they are able to participate comfortably, but staff must be vigilant for changes that would require sending them home. For instance, if the cough becomes persistent and severe, or a fever develops, then further action would be necessary. Always check specific program health policies, but close observation is the standard first step. Question 40. What is a key benefit of peer interactions for preschoolers? A. It consistently leads to arguments and conflicts. B. It helps children develop social skills like sharing, cooperation, and empathy. C. It often distracts children from learning academic skills. D. It reduces the need for adult supervision. Answer: B. It helps children develop social skills like sharing, cooperation, and empathy. This question highlights the value of social development. A key benefit of peer interactions for preschoolers is that these interactions are crucial opportunities for children to learn and practice essential social skills, such as sharing toys, cooperating on tasks, negotiating differences, and developing empathy for others' feelings. For example, when children build a tower together, they learn to communicate, take turns, and resolve minor disagreements. These experiences are fundamental for building positive relationships and navigating social situations later in life. Question 41. When planning outdoor play, what is a primary safety consideration for a CDA? A. Ensuring all children are wearing matching outfits. B. Making sure there are enough snacks available for everyone. C. Regularly inspecting equipment for hazards and ensuring adequate supervision. D. Encouraging children to play independently without adult interaction. Answer: C. Regularly inspecting equipment for hazards and ensuring adequate supervision. This question focuses on outdoor safety protocols. A primary safety consideration for a CDA during outdoor play is the diligent and regular inspection of all playground equipment for potential hazards, such as loose bolts, sharp edges, or debris, and ensuring continuous, active supervision of all children. These actions prevent injuries and allow for immediate intervention if an unsafe situation arises. For instance, before children go outside, checking that the slide is clear and the swings are secure is a vital step. Constant vigilance and maintaining a safe environment are paramount during outdoor activities. Question 42. What is the most effective way to help a child develop early literacy skills? A. Exclusively teaching phonics worksheets. B. Regularly reading aloud to children and providing access to books. C. Limiting story time to once a week. D. Expecting children to read independently at a young age. Answer: B. Regularly reading aloud to children and providing access to books. This question focuses on effective strategies for early literacy development. The most effective way to foster early literacy skills is through consistent exposure to books and language-rich experiences, such as regularly reading aloud to children, engaging them in discussions about stories, and providing a wide variety of age-appropriate books for them to explore independently. This builds vocabulary, comprehension, print awareness, and a love for reading. For example, pointing to words as you read, asking "What do you think will happen next?" or having a cozy reading corner encourages children to engage with print. Creating a print-rich environment makes literacy a natural and enjoyable part of their day. Question 43. A CDA is leading a group of children in a new activity. What is the best way to ensure all children understand the instructions? A. Simply state the instructions once and expect children to follow. B. Provide visual cues, demonstrate the activity, and use simple language. C. Ask only the older children if they understand. D. Assume children will learn by watching others. Answer: B. Provide visual cues, demonstrate the activity, and use simple language. This question addresses effective instruction and communication with young children. The best way to ensure all children understand instructions for a new activity is to use a multifaceted approach, providing visual cues, like pictures or gestures, demonstrating the activity clearly, and using simple, concise language. This caters to different learning styles and developmental levels, making the instructions accessible to everyone. For example, when introducing a new craft, show an example, physically demonstrate how to use the materials, and explain each step in short sentences. This comprehensive approach minimizes confusion and supports successful participation. Question 44. What is the primary reason for conducting emergency drills, e.g., fire, earthquake, in an early childhood program? A. To fulfill a legal requirement only. B. To scare children into following rules. C. To practice safety procedures and ensure children and staff know how to respond calmly. D. To show parents that the program is prepared for disasters. Answer: C. To practice safety procedures and ensure children and staff know how to respond calmly. This question addresses critical safety preparedness. The primary reason for conducting regular emergency drills, such as fire or earthquake drills, is to practice safety procedures repeatedly so that both children and staff know exactly how to respond calmly and efficiently in a real emergency. This preparation helps reduce panic, ensures everyone can evacuate or take cover safely, and establishes muscle memory for essential actions. For example, practicing walking quietly to the designated meeting spot during a fire drill ensures children know where to go without confusion. Drills are vital for building a culture of safety and readiness. Question 45. Which of the following is an appropriate way to provide positive feedback to a child? A. You're the best artist in the whole class. B. Good job. Without specific details. C. I like how you used so many different colors in your drawing, and you stayed focused on it. D. You only finished your work because I told you to. Answer: C. I like how you used so many different colors in your drawing, and you stayed focused on it. This question focuses on effective positive reinforcement. An appropriate way to provide positive feedback is to be specific and descriptive, acknowledging a child's effort, process, or a particular detail rather than vague praise or comparisons. Specific feedback helps children understand exactly what they did well and encourages them to repeat those positive actions. For example, instead of just good job, saying, I like how you helped your friend pick up the blocks, that was very kind, is much more impactful. Specific praise builds genuine self-esteem and provides clear guidance for future actions. Question 46. What is the most appropriate way for a CDA to communicate a child's challenging behavior to their parents? A. Focus only on the negative aspects and blame the child. B. Discuss the behavior objectively, share observations, and suggest collaborative strategies. C. Wait until the child has multiple incidents before discussing it. D. Tell other parents about the child's behavior to get their advice. Answer: B. Discuss the behavior objectively, share observations, and suggest collaborative strategies. This question addresses professional and respectful communication with families. The most appropriate way to discuss a child's challenging behavior with parents is to approach it objectively, sharing specific, factual observations without judgment, and then suggesting collaborative strategies that can be used consistently both at home and in the program. This fosters a partnership and ensures a unified approach to supporting the child. For example, instead of saying, your child is always hitting, a CDA might say, I've noticed that during crowded transition times, John sometimes hits when he feels overwhelmed. Let's think of ways we can help him during those moments. This collaborative approach builds trust and finds solutions together. Question 47. What is the main benefit of allowing children to engage in dramatic play? A. It teaches them to strictly follow a script. B. It primarily develops physical strength and endurance. C. It fosters imagination, social skills, and language development. D. It helps children learn to read and write more quickly. Answer: C. It fosters imagination, social skills, and language development. This question explores the value of different types of play. The main benefit of dramatic play, where children pretend to be different characters or act out scenarios, is that it is a rich environment for fostering imagination, developing crucial social skills like cooperation and negotiation, and expanding language through role-playing and storytelling. For example, when children pretend to be doctors, they practice taking turns, using new vocabulary related to health, and empathizing with others. Dramatic play allows children to explore complex ideas, emotions, and social roles in a safe and engaging way. Question 48. Before serving food in an early childhood program, what is a crucial safety step a CDA must take? A. Let children serve themselves to promote independence. B. Taste all the food first to ensure it is delicious. C. Check food temperatures and ensure proper food handling practices have been followed. D. Serve all food very hot to keep it warm. Answer: C. Check food temperatures and ensure proper food handling practices have been followed. This question addresses vital food safety protocols. A crucial safety step before serving food is for the CDA to verify that food temperatures are within safe ranges and that proper food handling practices, such as washing hands, using clean utensils, and preventing cross-contamination, have been rigorously followed. This ensures food is safe to eat and minimizes the risk of foodborne illnesses, which is especially important for young children with developing immune systems. For example, always using a food thermometer to check cooked items and keeping cold foods properly chilled are essential. Food safety is paramount to protecting children's health. Question 49. What is the primary reason for providing varied activities and learning centers in an early childhood classroom? A. To keep children busy so adults can focus on other tasks. B. To allow children to explore different interests and learn in multiple ways. C. To ensure all children are working on the same skill at the same time. D. To reduce the number of toys available to children. Answer: B. To allow children to explore different interests and learn in multiple ways. This question focuses on creating a rich learning environment. The primary reason for offering varied activities and learning centers, like blocks, dramatic play, art, and sensory tables, is to cater to children's diverse interests, developmental levels, and learning styles, allowing them to explore concepts and acquire skills in multiple, engaging ways. This approach empowers children to make choices and learn at their own pace. For example, one child might thrive in the quiet book corner, while another learns best by building complex structures in the block area. A rich, varied environment supports holistic child-initiated learning. Question 50. How should a CDA respond if a child expresses fear or anxiety about something specific? A. Dismiss their fears, telling them there's nothing to worry about. B. Tell them to be brave and tough. C. Acknowledge their feelings, offer comfort, and help them understand the situation. D. Distract them immediately with a loud activity. Answer: C. Acknowledge their feelings, offer comfort, and help them understand the situation. This question addresses empathetic and supportive responses to children's emotions. When a child expresses fear or anxiety, the most appropriate response is to first acknowledge and validate their feelings, for instance by saying, "It sounds like you're feeling a little scared right now." Then, offer gentle comfort and, if appropriate, help them understand or reframe the situation in a reassuring way. For example, if a child is scared of thunder, a CDA might say, "It's okay to feel scared when the thunder is so loud. It's just the clouds making a big sound, and we are safe inside." This approach helps children feel understood, safe, and gradually learn to cope with their emotions.